As I ventured deeper into the woods on my solo hike, a sense of unease crept in. Lost in the labyrinth of trees, I found an eerie clearing, the overgrown path leading me to a broken-down cabin. It was weathered and the windows were boarded. I was curious, and against my better judgment, I approached the cabin. As I explored the property, a chilling sight grabbed my attention. A solitary grave stood solemnly at the edge of the property, with a headstone marking its location. Drawn in, I knelt by the grave, tracing my fingers over the engraved letters. The name etched upon it belonged to someone long gone. But what caught my eye amidst the decaying leaves was an out-of-place object, a tarnished and rusted doorknob laying on the grave, poking out from the leaves. I thought to myself, how did this get here? Cautiously, I reached for the doorknob. With a slight twist, an unexpected click resonated through the clearing. Startled, I jerked my hand back just as the ground beneath me gave way. Dirt tumbled into the hidden passage, and a rush of cold air came out at me. I hesitated, considering whether to explore. The surrounding woods were eerily silent. Just as I leaned in for a closer look, a rustling in the distance snapped me out of my trance. Instinct took over, telling me I needed to get out of here. Ignoring any curiosity, I hurried away from the cabin, leaving the mysterious tunnel and its secrets behind. A group of friends and I spent a weekend at a remote cabin in the woods, seeking a break from the hustle of city life. The air was crisp, and the surroundings promised serenity. As we settled into the cabin, laughter filled the air, and flickering flames in the fireplace created a cozy atmosphere. However, a subtle unease settled in when we noticed strange symbols etched into the cabin's wooden beams. Dismissing it as a mere decoration, we continued our stay, unaware of the unsettling events that would follow. One afternoon, while exploring the cabin, we stumbled upon a loose floorboard leading to a hidden cellar beneath. Curious, we went into the dimly lit space and discovered an old dusty journal. Its yellow pages talked about the experience of a previous occupant, detailing strange occurrences and vivid nightmares linked to the woods. As we read further, the entries hinted at a malevolent force residing in the very trees surrounding us. Skeptical, we continued reading. Suddenly, the atmosphere shifted and we heard rustling outside. Shadows danced at the periphery of our vision, and a chilling breeze swept through the cellar, leaving us questioning the peaceful getaway. In the following days, unexplained events escalated. Whispering voices echoed through the trees. Shadows seemed to move independently, and the symbols in the cabin glowed faintly at night. The tension among us grew as the line between reality and paranoia blurred. We planned on leaving the next day, but that night the cabin seemed to pulse with an otherworldly energy, prompting us to flee into the dark woods, haunted by the mysteries we uncovered. In search of a serene escape, my wife and I decided to spend a weekend at a charming cabin nestled in the heart of a secluded forest. The promise of peacefulness, however, soon gave way to terrifying events. As we entered the cabin, the exterior stood silent among the towering trees, with moonlight filtering through the branches. Our temporary retreat had a great charm about it. In the dimly lit cabin, interior shadows moved on the walls as we unpacked. Strange disturbances began. Objects moving on their own, like the wine bottle that slid across the kitchen table and the sound of people talking outside at night. We couldn't tell what they were saying, and it had us on edge. Attempting to make sense of the disturbances, we found an old family photo album tucked away in a forgotten corner. The pages revealed haunting images of past occupants. A chilling realization dawned on me as we connected the shadows to the faces in the photographs, giving us an idea of the forces at play. The last straw came when we discovered a hidden compartment in the cabin wall. Inside, we found relics tied to a dark history, a history filled with tales of betrayal and tragedy. The shadows that terrorized us were not mere figments of our imagination, but part of the cabin's unsettling past. We got out of there and we went back home. When we checked the video we shot with our phone, none of the occurrences took place. We saw the wine bottle move across the table on its own, with our own eyes, but on the video, it never moved. As dusk settled over the thick woods, I reached the isolated cabin, seeking refuge from the chaos of city life. The air was heavy with an unsettling quietness. Shadows from the trees in the moonlight cast an eerie atmosphere. On the first night, the creaking floorboards echoed with every step, creating a haunting sound. Although I dismissed it as the woods adjusting to the night, an unexplainable chill lingered. Though the fireplace was lit, the cabin would not get warm. As I lay in bed, I heard a rhythmic tapping coming from the attic. My heart raced, and a cold sweat formed on my forehead. I struggled to fall asleep. The next day, I ventured into the surrounding forest. Hidden in the thick underbrush, I discovered an abandoned graveyard, forgotten by time. The tombstones, weathered and cracked, bore the names of those lost to history. The air turned heavy and a spiritual presence enveloped me, leaving me struggling for breath. I couldn't catch my breath. I looked to the cabin, and flickering candlelight exposed ghostly figures in the cabin's windows. Their hollow eyes locked onto mine, and panic set in as they drew near, effortlessly passing through the walls like shadows. My heart racing, I left my belongings, jumped into my car, fleeing the haunted cabin.